as God's own country wasn't really like that long back. The social situations of Kerala during the 1800s were deplorable due to the existence of a caste-oriented and socially unequal society. People belonging to the higher castes enjoyed many privileges while the lower castes were neglected and oppressed. Government jobs and general education were denied to the people of the lower castes. They were not even allowed to walk along public roads. Untouchability and such evil customs were predominant and the most accepted practices in the society. Dalit women were not allowed to cover their breasts, especially in front of the higher caste people whom they compelled to call Tampuran, which means Lord. The Dalits lived on the property of the landlords and worked for them as bonded laborers. They would be forced to work, but wages would not be paid. They were forced to bow to the wishes of their masters. They had no self-respect. Even when abused and raped, the womenfolk could not raise their voice in protest. Education was only the right of a small minority. It is against this backdrop of unjust rules and discrimination that the heroic efforts of Saint Chavara becomes important and relevant. Saint Chavara worked hard to raise the status of his fellow beings and provide them better chances to progress through innovative initiatives. He opened opportunities for everyone to flourish and progress. The words and deeds of Saint Chavara proclaim his great vision for the uplift of the people in the society. Today, Kerala holds the highest literacy rate in India and people enjoy equal social status and the fruits of development. Saint Chavara dreamt of such a society and became the pioneer to start a movement which was primarily based on his own Syrian Christian community and reached out to every one of the society, especially to the lower caste and the poor.
Lord, this is painful. I cannot see these people in pain anymore. What is the meaning of all these? They are your children, and they are in grief. Aren't you seeing it?
Kuriakos?
My Lord, speak to me.
Kuriakos, you're my precious child. I see how grieved you are seeing the sufferings of your fellow people.
Lord, haven't you said that you are the light of the world? And why is that I still see darkness and agony in the lives of my brothers and sisters? Won't there be an end to it?
Kuriakos, I have told you that I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. For something to end, there should be a beginning of something new.
Something new? Lord, you are the beginning and the end. We need your light to shine upon us. These days of sorrow should come to an end.
Kuriakos, the blaze of my light is already in you. You're my son, and you will never walk in darkness. Haven't I told you that you are the light of the world?
Lord, but
When you realize the immense power of the divine light that is already in you, you will transform yourself to the blazing divine light that can brighten up the lives of others.
Lord, Lord, I am your unworthy servant. Guide me, Lord, that I can do your will.
Kuriakos, you are the light of the world. When it is the right time, you will know what to do. Kuriakos, you're my precious child. I have told you that I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness. For something to end, there should be a beginning of something new. The blaze of my light is already in you. You're my son, and you will never walk in darkness. You will transform yourself to the blazing divine light that can brighten up the lives of others.
Lord, you are the light of the world that removes the fear of darkness. The vision that I had just now tells me everything. I know what I should do. It is the darkness of ignorance that I should remove. Only the light of knowledge can erase the darkness of ignorance. Ignorance is the root of all evil. Lord, give me the strength to fulfill your will. Now, no one will walk in darkness but will have the light of life.
For Saint Chavara, teaching and learning is a sacred process which leads to enlightening. He invoked his fellow priests and parents to be aware of this. He said,
Just as without an eye, one cannot see the material things in the world, so also, without knowledge, it will be impossible for us to see and understand the reality of the world and the eternity of God. As those who have no eye are called blind, so as too, those who have no learning are called to be intellectually blind.
in Saint Chavara's time, the Dalits were compelled to work. They were not given just wages. This was always considered their obligation. Saint Chavara objected to this system. He insisted that just wages should be provided. His view that God is with the poor strikes its similarity with the Daridra Narayan concept propagated by Swami Vivekananda. Saint Chavara also proclaimed the glory of not possessing anything. Strong disagreement was shown towards this by the Nambudri clan. It was never an easy path for Saint Chavara to establish the will of God. He strived hard to fulfill the vision that Lord wanted him to achieve for his children who were suffering. He arranged the provision to supply study materials, clothes, and midday meals for the poor students, which even the government schools were not providing at that time.
With the support of all Saint Chavara's well-wishers, he sets up the first Sanskrit colliery. His creative mind found Sanskrit as a substitute for the English language, and in the year 1846, Saint Chavara established a Sanskrit school at a place called Mananam. Here, his egalitarian vision came forward, and in that institution, students from any caste or religion sat together and studied. Saint Chavara was the first Indian who not only dared to admit the untouchables to schools, but also provided them with Sanskrit education, which was forbidden to the lower caste, thereby challenging social bans based on caste as early as the former part of the 19th century. Soon, he established some other schools in the nearby areas, and all these were silver stars that spread light in the inner souls of the marginalized sections of the society. Kerala women at that time were very much bound by the rules and customs of society. It was definitely a patriarchal society, and women had no freedom either at home or in the society or in the church. Early marriages devoid of rights to family property, evils existed in the social customs like caste system, Marumakatayam, Devadasi system, Sambandham made the life of women miserable. It was in this backdrop that the role played by Saint Kuriakose alias Chavara in the social reform movement has to be remembered with gratitude. The CMC congregation was another noble initiative by Saint Kuriakose alias Chavara for the downtrodden women, disabled, and the old people of the society.
The dignity of man, who is endowed with both body and soul, filled with the Spirit of God, was the basis for all social activities and humanitarian services for Saint Kuriakose alias Chavara. He gave prime importance to the dignity of a human being from his faith that all are created in the image and likeness of God. Saint Kuriakose alias Chavara introduced the Pallikoda movement, providing free education for all at schools attached to every parish church in Kerala. The legacy still continues with over 1,200 educational institutions imparting knowledge to lakhs of students. Saint Kuriakose alias Chavara established the CMI congregation and governed it for 16 years as the Superior General under the name Common Prior. The people at large took note of the transformation that was taking place in the church and in the Malabar society through the apostolic activities of the members under the able guidance of Saint Chavara. CMI institutions still stand the tallest in the field of education.
Education, being the charisma of the CMI congregation,
Its members have been well trained and specialized in teaching at all levels of education from its very inception. The CMI congregation has the tradition and reputation of 1.5 century in the field of education. These CMI schools strive to develop not only physical, intellectual, artistic and cultural aptitudes of children, but also their character from the earliest stages by inculcating sound moral principles, which are meant to help them grow up as good children of God and worthy responsible citizens. Saint Chavara was a trendsetter in the universalization of education and making it available to all sections of the society. He also took initiative in imparting quality education with formation in values so that not only the individuals grow holistically but also they become instruments in the social mobility and social transformation. The CMI gave special consideration to the education of the poor and the marginalized. In the present scenario of education becoming a service to be purchased, we give special care to provide quality education, both basic and advanced, also to the poor who do not have the purchasing power and hence access to such education.
School ICSE was established in 2007 under the management of Carmelites of Mary Immaculate Fathers. Following the noble footsteps of its founder, Saint Chavara, the motto upheld by School ICSE aims in transforming the students into becoming the children of God who will shine the light of their wisdom. Students of School ICSE are proudly called Christites. School provides children with sound education based on religious and moral values, which is open to all irrespective of religion, caste, or community, paying respect to their religious feelings and freedom of conscience. This school aims at achieving excellence in every aspect of educational activity by developing their character endeavors and aims at forming leaders who are intellectually competent, spiritually mature, morally upright, psychologically integrated, physically healthy, and socially acceptable. Christites champion the cause of justice, love, truth, and peace, and who are ever open to further growth. We aim in providing the finest information, inspiring and invigorating the young minds, and integrating the physical, intellectual, mental, and spiritual powers of the student in order to create a new generation of proactive individuals. Scholastic and co-scholastic excellence, world-class infrastructure, combined with a team of professionally competent, morally upright, caring and dedicated staff make School ICSE a destination for those who wish to groom into academically excellent, culturally talented and socially acceptable human beings and efficient enterprising global leaders. As the motto goes, every Christite here is nurtured to be the light of the world.